Laura from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and I am going to show you how I Continental knit.
It's fantastic.
Now, for the purling, I guess we can put them both in the same video. So for the purling, it's exactly the same thing. So I've got this yarn around here, put it around, I can hold it, right? But this time I'm going to kind of tilt my wrist a little bit so that this is all coming towards me, so that this finger is holding this yarn taut. So I stick this needle into that stitch, and everything with purling is completely the opposite of knitting. So instead of going this way, instead of holding the yarn back here, I hold it in the front. Instead of going like this with the needle, I go like this. Oops. And even the way you put the yarn around the needle is the opposite. So now I'm going to put it around this way. And then the whole point, oops, watch, I can't do it, is to take that and then pull it off. So you put this through and then around.
And you use your index finger to pull the tension down.
I pull, yeah, so what I'm doing is I use my index finger to get the yarn up and over it, and then to pull it down the tip of my index finger, and that keeps this taut and on the needle, and then through and then off. So I go through, around, through, and then off. Through, around, through, and then off. And then this is getting a little loose, so I'm going to retighten it. That's okay. I mean, I do that all the time. Through, around, through, and then off. Through, around, through, 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 off. And, you know, at this point, my yarn's all kind of cockeyed, so I would have to retake it and retension it. But then you can flip it around and...
What if you did like 2 or 3 knits and then a purl? Show us how you bring your yarn to the front in the middle of a row.
Okay. Looks like I messed up. So I'm going to back this out for just a second, because I wasn't paying attention. Oops.
I'm excited. This is my hard part, is the purling. That's called unknitting, right?
Yeah, that's unknitting.
Unknitting, backing it out, instead of frogging.
Yes.
That's great.
I don't know if it's going to come out on the camera or not. It might be too hard to see.
What, the unknitting?
Well, no, just all of it. Do you want to? Can you flip that around and just make sure? You know, is that zoomed in enough?
I think it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Hold your hands up a little higher. There you go, right there.
It's kind of hard. Okay, so if we were to just do, we'll do knit, around, through, and off. Knit, around, through, and off. And then if you want to purl next, all you do is bring this out front. So it was back here, now it's out front, and now you just go in this way, which was the opposite. You go down like that with your index finger, through and off. Now if you want to knit, you just bring the yarn to the back. Alright, sorry about that, we ran out of tape, so I'll just finish up here. Am I in a good spot?
You're in a very good spot.
Okay.
It's perfect.
So to knit, you go in, around, through, and off. If you want to purl, you simply bring the yarn to the front and do the opposite again. Go through, bring this down, through, and then off. And then you're automatically like in a knitting position again. But you could still purl. Bring it back out front, go through, bring this down, and look at how I'm holding the needle with my left hand. That's probably very important. I keep this finger on all the stitches so they don't slide off. I do the same thing with my right hand. I keep my right finger on this last stitch right here so it doesn't slide off.
Brilliant.
And then off. So yeah, I guess naturally I just keep my fingers on all the stitches. And that provides a little bit of safety.
So that you just, when you're ready to pull it off, you can just release that one stitch and let it slide down.
Let it slide down, and then that helps me to move stuff a little bit. You know, I can move stuff down with this, I can move it this way, I can move it that way, whatever. And then again, sometimes I need to retension. But there you go. So that's continental knitting, continental purling. I hope that's helpful. It takes, and again, I mean, if it takes you a month, if you already know how to knit and you've been, throwing or doing it, what is it, the English way?
English way, yeah.
Then it may take you 2 months of practicing. I mean, I wouldn't be discouraged. You've already learned one way to do it, so it's more difficult to try and change. So that's it. This is the Cashmerino Aran by Debbie Bliss, just in case you were wondering what was making my fingers so happy. And then these are the Lantern Moon ebony needles, of course, in a size 9. Thank you so much, and I hope that was helpful.
Thunder rumbles on this American summer night. There's kids on the corner, stuck in a switchblade fight. And the rock and roll bands play for the girls on the beat.